You talk about his work in Detroit. Everyone you ask around Detroit or anyone that knows Engstrand, like very involved with Ben Johnson and very involved in here in the draft process and free agency in ways of, hey, I want to be able to get this guy involved and this guy here, and we're going to utilize this skill set and these different things. Just exciting things as opposed to what you've coming from like a Hackett perspective where this guy doesn't fit my system or this guy only does this or this guy. Dude, maximize their strengths and try to get rid of their weaknesses. We've said it a million times. That's what the best coaches do. You get players that you fit your scheme to the players, not the players to the scheme. Again, that's maybe more of a projection. So is tight end, frankly. Look, I think there's reasons to be maybe optimistic about a Jeremy Ruckert or a Stone Smart because Ruckert, we've seen flashes where you're like early on, especially we're like, oh, this guy could be really serviceable, even if he's just a tight end 2 in the league, very serviceable. Last year was terrible. But it seems like he's put on some weight in a good way. I think he's very much aware of how big of a year this is. Glenn's talked a lot about him, and he's a guy who, again, I don't know what his role will be this year. Maybe he doesn't make the team. Maybe he's a guy who plays a ton. Not sure, but I think, okay, interesting. Like, again, I'm not saying he makes him good. And then you have the Mason Taylor of it all where he's 20 years old. I'm high on him. I think most of Jets fans and the Badlands community as a whole is very high on what Mason Taylor potentially could be. But I also think we don't really know. So that's part of why the Jets are 16. I think Breece is coming off a really bad year. But again, Breece wasn't healthy last year. And again, even when he was healthy, I think confidence wasn't great. I think there was a lot of stuff going on. New offense, new instilled confidence, contract year, all these different things. You expect Breece to be much more like the guy we saw in 21 and 22, and it's 22 and 23. I apologize. And then a pass catcher, like the issue is, as we've talked about a million times, it's what's 2 through 4 going to look like. Is Josh Reynolds 2 years ago, Josh Reynolds? Because that's a viable, probably a high-end 3, low-end 2. But Garrett's a high-end 1. So, hey, can it balance out? Is Lazard the guy who at points looks like a serviceable NFL receiver that can put up 600 yards and 8 touchdowns, or is he the guy that consistent drops, false starts, holdings, and looks disinterested when Rodgers isn't there?